Wow! Himiko gasped as she looked down at her cup of blood. She was sitting in the cafeteria with everyone else, enjoying a wonderful stack of French toast and a cup of blood. We heard you like to drink blood, we included it with your meal, Shiruka said, as she ate her own meal. A brain. Well, start eating otherwise your food will get cold. Can I really drink this? Himiko asked as she looked over the cup, her mouth watering as the metallic smell of the blood hit her nose. No one's gonna get mad at me, right? Not at all. Just look at what I'm eating. Shiruka said as she cut up the brain and used her fork to lift it into her mouth. Himiko still looked a little baffled, but she quickly got over it and started gulping down the blood. Ah! This is so good. This place has to be heaven. Once the cup was drained, Himiko moved on to her actual meal, and her eyes went wide with wonder. This confirms it. I'm in heaven. Heaven. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX She had on a simple red and green outfit, with a skirt and frilly top, as well as red shoes. And her hair was tied up in a ponytail. I look so pretty. And that's just the start, Shiruka said, with a smug look on her face. This was just what we could do on short notice. Our fashion power goes far beyond this. Sheena added, looking just as smug, although she only helped with the hair. In other words, this was just the opening act. Now prepare for the main show. Shiruka shouted. It's been a while since we got a new family member, so I think a new round of dress-up is in order. Yeah, Himiko had never played dress-up before, but they seemed too excited about it, and she liked looking pretty, so why not go along? Seemed like fun. XXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Himiko happily hummed as she walked over to her room, with boxes of clothes in her arms. Dress-up had been fun, and the girl talk during it only enhanced the experience. She couldn't remember the last time she could really talk with others so freely, about things from fashion, to cute things, to bloody carnage. So far today had been the best day ever. And then she tripped. Whoa! Himiko fell forward, and the boxes started to spill out of her arms. But before she or any of her new clothes could hit the floor, they were all caught by black tendrils. Careful, Fu said, as he used Kyosei to get Himiko back on her feet while taking the boxes. Here, let me help. Where are you going? Thanks. Everyone here is so nice. Himiko noted. It's so much better than my old home. Yeah, that's kinda the point, Fu said. Dad works hard to make sure everyone here is as happy as can be. Even when it seems like everyone else tries to make that hard for him. Mr. Midoriya, he's super amazing, right? Himiko asked with stars in her eyes. He's in charge of this whole amazing place, and he's super nice. No one's denying that. Anyway, let's get this to your room. Fu said. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX forest at top speed. There you are! Sori shouted as she found a deer, before quickly cutting its head off with her claws. Awesome! Himiko cheered as they came to a halt. Again. Sorry kid, we gotta deal with this one first, Sori said as she lifted up the deer corpse. Don't want all the blood getting on the ground and the meat going bad, do ya? Himiko said, getting off Sori so they could deal with the deer. The young blonde watched with zeal as Sori drained its blood, before skinning it and cutting it up into smaller parts. Cool, Himiko cooed. You're so cool, Sori. How'd you learn to do all that? The same way most people do, manga. Sori said proudly. If you can learn anything by watching YouTube and reading manga, it's a real life hack. Meanwhile, back in Izuku's office, Izuku suddenly got a headache, and he didn't know why. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX for 8 whole minutes, Kay said. And so I found him and I said, need a hand? Baitum Tish. Himiko applauded. She was currently acting as an audience for Kay's stand-up routine. Of course, she didn't find any of her jokes funny in the slightest. But she enjoyed the sheer passion and energy Kay brought. She was just filled with so much life. So she'd sit through some bad jokes if only to watch and encourage someone so adorably lively. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX karaoke machine in Himiko's room. Like a flood of pain, Yaba continued, pouring down on me, and it will not let up until the end is here. And it will come. Thought the darkest day, in my final hour. And it will never rest until the clouds are clear. Until it finds my dreams and disappears. Pairs, PPP Persis. My dreams disappear. And with that, the song ended. That was amazing. I always wanted to do karaoke but didn't know it'd be this much fun. Himiko cheered. I know, right? And my sisters said they didn't want to do it because we can't sing. You don't need to be good at singing to enjoy karaoke. Yaba stated confidently. Now let's do another one. The only thing I know for real this time. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX ran through the backyard as fast as she could, jumping and ducking and bobbing and weaving through water blasts, not letting a single one hit her, while she carried her own water gun. Shwoop! Lo teleported in front of her, with a cocky smirk on his face, and a water gun aimed right at her face. Eat this! Whoa! Himiko fell onto her back, letting the water shot fly over her, and blasting Lo in the face with her own water gun at the same time. Ha! Lo got a face full of water that sent him stumbling back and let Himiko get back up and run away. Ha! Nice triac! Himiko was suddenly blasted by water from above, as Ken flew in the air as Stinkfly, and shot down at everyone from above. Ahahahaha! Good luck hitting me all the way up here, suckers! Ken taunted. Before he then got nailed by 3 water balloons, one of them hitting him right in the face. Gah! Don't get cocky fuck face! Yaba shouted as she and Inu threw water balloons up at Ken from the ground. Splash! Ah! The sisters cried out, as Otako laid fire or rather water on them, with his super soaker minigun. Only to get interrupted, as Himiko and AKA shot water right at his face. Ha! Nice! AKA cheered. And then, everyone stopped, when a shadow appeared, and flew over everyone. They all looked up and saw Yami, flying on top of a griffin. And there were also 4 other griffins, holding up a giant cluster of water balloons, about the size of a house. No mercy, Yami said simply, as he commanded the Grimm to release the balloons, letting them fall down like rain. Oh crap, everyone run! Ken shouted as he and everyone else tried to get away, but it was far too late, as the balloons fell on them like rain, exploding and flooding the entire area with water. Needless to say, Yami was considered the winner of this game. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX Izuku on Himiko's behavior and recent activities. She seems to have gotten over her parents abandoning her rather quickly, likely because she seems to have been expecting it, and as such has had no issue in dealing with her new environment. If anything, she's thriving. She gets along with many of the other children and is extremely lively and energetic. I don't think she's stopped smiling a single time today. It's almost hard to believe that she was once a villain. Izuku sighed. Almost. While for the most part, Himiko was a very lovely individual, her obsession with blood and gore could be very off-putting to most people. Especially because, unlike Kiba or Shiroku, she didn't technically need to consume blood or body parts. The keyword being technically, because the way her brain was wired, gave her a kind of addiction to blood, and going without it for long periods of time could trigger a kind of withdrawal in her. Well, we shouldn't have to worry about her going down that path again now that she's here, Izuku said. I wish I could be this at ease about Tenko. Giza nodded. The boy has yet to leave his room. And all he does in there is eat, sleep, and watch hero fights on the news. The loss of his family seems to have sent the young boy down the path of heartache and confusion. Do you think he's ready for me to talk to him? Izuku asked. I'd say so, Giza confirmed. In fact, I would advise you to do that sooner than later, before you become too busy. Izuku, Himiko shouted as she slammed the door open and ran into Izuku's office, soaking wet. Izuku got up, knowing what was coming. Himiko tackled Izuku and wrapped her arms around him. I had so much fun. Izuku smiled. I'm glad you did. I'm sure everyone else had fun too. Now let's go get you changed before you catch a cold. We have to be quick because dinner could be done at any moment. Yet another good day at the Midoriya Foundation. The type of days that should be the norm.